Welcome to the Monterey Park City Council Candidates Forum. I am representing the Monterey Park Rotary, which is one of the co-sponsors of the forum, along with the Monterey Park Journal and the Pasadena Area League of Women Voters. Monterey Park Rotary is, the Rotary is the oldest service organization in the world, being founded in 1906. The Monterey Park Rotary meets every Thursday, just about every Thursday at 12:15 at Capital Seafood, and we'd invite people to come and participate, see what it's about. So I will now introduce Marge Nichols from the Pasadena Area League of Women Voters, who will be conducting the forum.
We're so happy to see all of you turning out tonight. This is going to be, I think, a really exciting candidate forum, and it's great to have so many people here to start it off. Now, I'd like to run over some basics for this election. First of all, the League of Women Voters Pasadena area includes 10 communities in the East San Gabriel Valley. So we cover all of these areas that are included, and that includes, of course, Monterey Park. Now, I'm a resident of Altadena, and I won't be voting in this election, so you can see I'm very unbiased. That's really important to us because we try and make sure that everyone can have confidence in what we do in these candidate forums. Now, we're running for 3 city council seats, and we have, as you see, 6 candidates. This is a 4-year term of office for the city council. The League of Women Voters is political but nonpartisan. We advocate, we take positions on legislation, but we never support candidates. That's up to the voters. Before we begin, I'd like to introduce the rest of the League team. First of all, we have Sandra Hauge and Jane Wallace as question sorters. And they will be receiving the cards that you send in through the runners in the audience, and they'll be sorting them so that similar subjects can be grouped together and we don't have duplicate questions. I'd like to also introduce Dorothy Keene, who's going to be doing the timing for the event. So now let's review the rules for the forum, which have been agreed to by all the candidates. And each candidate is going to have 2 minutes to make an opening statement, and then they will be speaking in numerical order, starting with 1 over on the right. And each person will get 1 minute to answer each question. And I'm going to be asking our timekeeper to raise the cards about how many minutes people have left, so they can easily see how much they have left. And when they get to the end of their time, she raises a button, a card that says, stop. So we have a very fair way of making sure that everybody gets equal time. Now, once a candidate's time is up, his or her statement should be concluded as quickly as possible. And then after the opening statements are completed, the candidates will begin with questions that have been prepared, a few introductory questions by the Rotary Club. And then we will be taking audience questions. Now, audience members should continue putting your cards in. You may find that throughout the discussion that there are new issues that come up, and you can pass in another card and ask a different question. And the following rules apply to all of the questions. Only written questions will be accepted, and they must be in the form of a statement, a question, not a statement. In other words, you're not working on someone's candidacy. It's a question. They may be directed to one candidate or to all of the candidates. And if they're directed to one candidate, then any of them may respond if they wish. Each candidate will have 1 minute to answer questions, no rebuttals. And if there are several questions on a similar issue, they may be grouped together. Questions must deal with issues in the election. No references to family, religion, or other personal subjects are taken at these forums. And finally, please hold your applause until the end of the forum. And then about 8:15, the question period will end and closing statements will begin. Each candidate will have 2 minutes for the closing statements, and they'll be in reverse order of the opening statements. And finally, the league policies specify that no campaign activities such as T-shirts or buttons or whatever will be worn during the forum. And a table is provided for campaign literature outside after the forum is over. Are there any questions? Okay, great. Let's get started. I'd like to introduce the candidates. This is in alphabetical order, and maybe you could just raise your hand. Joe Avila, Mitchell Ing, Stephen Lamb, Delario Robinson, Teresa Real Sebastian, and Antony Wong. All right, wonderful. Well, let's start with Joe Avila for opening statements.
Hello, everybody. How you doing? My name's Joe Avila. I'm running for a seat at City Council.
Is your microphone on?
Test. Yeah, okay.
Good.
Hello. Sorry about that. My name's Joe Avila. I'm running for a seat at City Council. I'm running for a seat on City Council for one reason, for you people, all my friends and family and relatives out there that need to get things done in the city and want to see improvement and move forward. We have a lot of things to move forward on in the city to progress and preserve our quality of life. We have a lot of obstacles and hurdles and different nationalities that live in the city, and I'm going to unite them all and get things done. I love the city where I live. I love the people that I live with. I'm honored to know all the different nationalities and different people that live in the city. And if you give me the opportunity, I will not fail you. I'm here for one reason, for you, to make things better and hear your problems, hear your complaints, hear your ideals, and make them happen. I'm not afraid to handle the big bully guy or things that people are intimidated by. I'll get the ball rolling. Vote for Joe Avila. I won't disappoint you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
And we'll go with Ms. Sebastian next.
Yes, thank you. Good evening. My name is Teresa Real Sebastian. I'm your current council member, former mayor. First of all, I'd like to thank all the participants for arranging this venue. I think it's a great way to get to know your candidates and a great example of transparency. I am from the community, for the community. Pride in the past and faith in the future is wonderful. However, all we have right now is the present, and that is why I believe in progress for our city. Progress is political and financial transparency. It is retail growth. It is an open bid process. It is green and family events. It is reducing inefficiencies and reducing deficits. It's increasing emergency services and increasing student and veteran opportunities. It means that senior services will not be cut. Running a city is getting more and more sophisticated. As an attorney and a businesswoman, I remain the only candidate with city council, legal, and financial financial experience to identify, understand, and address the issues that continue to face our city. Monterey Park is a diverse community, and the residents deserve leaders that represent them by listening to them, by understanding them, and not representing any outside interest. You know, I listen to you. I make myself available to listen to each of your comments. If you watch the council meetings, you also see that I do my homework. I ask questions. I ask relevant questions that you have brought to my attention. I ask your questions. I offer alternatives and I offer solutions. I do not rubber stamp. I roll up my sleeves and I get to work and I get the work done. And I will not compromise my ethics. Please watch one of our council meetings. They are archived on our website. I ask you to please join me and members of our community in a positive campaign and visit my website at voteforteresa.com. I ask for your vote on March 3rd. Please vote for Teresa Real Sebastian. Thank you.
Thank you. And let's go now with Mr. Wong.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Antony Wong. I serve as City Council currently, and I served twice as Mayor of City of Monterey Park. During my last term as Mayor ended November, I contribute all my salary, the Mayor's salary, to more than 30 charitable organizations in the City of Monterey Park. And I held 3 town hall meetings, opening the town hall, the city government, to all the residents to City of Monterey Park. One of the town hall meetings was held at private school. One is at Langley Center. The last one was held at the City Hall right here. All the department heads are there explaining to the people, the residents, that what City of Monterey Park is doing for everyone of the people of Monterey Park. Why? Because I like to make sure that not only the City Council members have to work together as a team. The whole administration, start from the city manager, the fire chief, police chief, down to every staff, should work together as a team. And we have to respect each other. Make sure that we let the people know that what we are doing. That's why we have a big screen at the lobby displaying everything about the city business. So everybody come to City Hall, they can see from the screen that what's going on with the city. If they have a question, they can always ask us. So I like to continue this service. I make sure that the whole city will work together, making sure that everybody in the City of Monterey Park will enjoy a peaceful and happy life together. Thank you.
Thank you. And let's have Mr. Lamb next.
Well, thank you. I would like to thank Rotary Club and the League of Women of Voters for putting this event together. I'm Stephen Lamb, the city's planning commissioner, and I'm running for city council. I came to Monterey Park 30 years ago to live with my grandmother and went to East Los Angeles College to get my business degree. Few years later, I opened up my business on Garvey Avenue. It's a brand name agency. I carried clothing, women's clothes. It's been there for 25 years. I own my own home here. I have 3 kids. They all born in Garfield Hospital, right here in the city. I saw Monterey Park downtown. It's kind of dirty and ugly, so I joined the Business Improvement District Advisory Committee, and I hired workers to clean up the downtown, adding benches with flowers, adding bike racks, lampposts, repainted, identify the graffitis, and remove those. Now, I'm your planning commissioner. I work very hard to bring in quality economic development projects. I work very hard to bring in quality shops to the city to make sure that we have revenue to the city. I want to make sure that Monterey Park Police has the best equipment and resource to expand their services to provide the best service to the residents in Monterey Park. I wanted to make sure Monterey Park is the cleanest city in America.
Thank you. And next we have Mr. Ng.
First of all, let me welcome all of you here and want to thank the Monterey Park Rotary, the Monterey Park Journal, and the Pasadena League of Women Voters for conducting the forum. We welcome all of you here at the council chambers, including those who are viewing on Channel 3. My name is Mitchell Ng. As your council member, past mayor, and former city treasurer, I have served as your fiscal watchdog for the past 14 years. I was elected to protect the interest of residents and not special interest. I fought against giving a trash company a 15-year, $100 million contract without competitive bidding. I fought against awarding a $1.6 million city contract to a company that a council member worked for. I fought against and replaced our past city attorney who billed us over $1.2 million in legal fees annually. I stopped a Card Club casino wanting to build in our city. I stopped the city from forgiving a $450,000 city loan to a local business. As a council member whose wife and children attended local elementary and high school, I donated 92 $500 scholarships for the Marquepo graduating seniors, Schur High School, and Garfield High School. I served as chairman and raised $150,000 for students to march in the 2009 Rose Parade. I'm an 8-year member of the Tournament of Roses, a former Mission Amigos district chairman for Boy Scouts of America. I graduated from UCLA in economics and have an MBA in finance from Cal State LA. As a former branch manager of Home Savings of America, I started my 25-year banking career in Monterey Park. I'm currently the manager of Citizens Business Bank and oversee the accounts of a municipality, a school district, educational foundations, 3 Catholic high schools, and small businesses. I understand my fiduciary role in safeguarding funds. I will continue to ask tough questions for the residents of Monterey Park. Thank you.
Thank you. And Mr. Robinson.
Hello, citizens of Monterey Park. I'm Delario Robinson. I'm running for city council here in Monterey Park. I'm offering my talent to the city of Monterey Park. I'm a former Oakland Raider draft choice. I'm a former All-American. I'm a former United States top 10 in the high hurdles. I'm running for city council to improve the quality of life for the residents of Monterey Park. Also, public safety is very important to me. Continuing to improve public safety, the police department, the fire department, technology, equipment, and most of all, courtesy in the people who serve our community. Well, what really prompted me to run for city council is over the last 4 years, we have seen the mayor of Monterey Park walk out on a city council meeting. Subsequently, a city council person walked out on the city council meeting. We've seen resignations by a city council member. We've seen resignations by Community Participation Commission members. Have had divisive issues like the Latin signage issue, which divided our community in between Chinese speakers and Chinese language readers and English readers and Latin signage advocates. We have to put a stop to that. Now, in the city of Los Angeles, I was president of the LA Council of Churches. One of my duties was, and I wasn't a pastor, one of my duties was to bring people together. They like that about me. Similarly, here in Monterey Park, United Democratic Club and Monterey Park Democratic Club united. Vote for Delario Robinson. Thank you.
All right. Well, I appreciate your opening statements, everyone. I think you've provided some very interesting information about yourselves. So let's get down to the questions. One of the things that has been a real concern in the community is that at least 2 people have died in car accidents recently. Traffic is getting heavier and heavier and forcing drivers onto residential streets. So what plan do you have? What would be your priorities to protect residential areas from traffic, keep bicyclists and motorists safe? For example, traffic studies and other measures that would not impact city services. Starting with Mr. Avila.
Okay. I would love to put speed bumps in some neighborhoods that where the traffic's diverted to, where they speed down the street. We need some speed bumps, slow down that traffic. Some more traffic cops to catch those speeders and those drivers that are just going on haywire out there. Maybe educate and give more schooling to those drivers that are kind of unfamiliar being behind a wheel. The car is very dangerous. It needs to be treated with respect. And we need those traffic cops out there to catch them and enforce the laws more and slow down the cars with speed bumps. That would help a whole lot.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Sebastian?
Yes, thank you. Yes, I'm Teresa Riel Sebastian, and thank you for bringing that up because that is an issue in our city. As a matter of fact, on our street, we had that very same issue, and we were thinking of putting, this is prior to me being on council, of putting in speed bumps, and I found out that many of our streets, our fire department does not like speed bumps because if they're coming down during an emergency and they have a big fire truck, all of a sudden they have to slow down to go over that speed bump. And if you need the fire truck or an ambulance there in an emergency, that means you've just added seconds to them getting to your home. During our recent council meeting, we were talking about the issue of these accidents happening, and one of the things that I suggested is those areas that we know are prone to accidents, the city has to look at those areas to see what we can do to mitigate. Perhaps remind people that the speed limit is such amount and put the blinking lights, because those do work, but they don't interfere with the safety units getting to your home when you need them during an emergency. I've also suggested in just education for the public to make sure that they understand the regulations of the road. Thank you.
And Mr. Wong?
I was very sorry about the incidents that happened to City of Monterey Park recently on Atlantic Boulevard and also Garfield Avenue. That incident caused a very valuable life of our crossing guard, who that we respect very much. We really appreciate that. To me, I feel that not only City of Monterey Park have to have an education program to make sure that everybody will follow the traffic rules and regulations, and throughout the whole San Gabriel Valley, the Southern California, we have to educate those people that we have to follow the rules, and making sure that public safety, safety of the pedestrian is very important to all of us, making sure that we all drive carefully, no drunken driving. We have to make sure that people, when they drink alcohol, not to drive. And also that we have regular police decoy program, a pedestrian program, to make sure that we will penalize those that do not follow the rules. So we should emphasize on all of those and hire more police officers. Thank you.
Mr. Lam?
I feel very sad to hear that one of the crossing guard got killed the other day. This brought to me that we need more police. We need more resource to the police to expand the services. One of the ways the police department needs to do is to educate the residents and the drivers to drive more carefully. And the police is doing a good job in the city. I think it can be better. So if I got elected, I will fund more money to the police for this kind of program.
Yeah, Ms. Ring?
Yes, whether we talk about speed bumps or stationary speed monitors or even just public service announcements on our cable station and in our local schools. It was unfortunate that we had fatal accidents here in our city. I remember also recalling one on New and Garvey, in which it involved a young boy who lost his life, who was driving a Ferrari. Unfortunately, he didn't even have a driver's license. He was a student at PCC. But these accidents brings to light the issue that we as a city needs to address, whether it's through our traffic commission, through public announcement, and once again through our police department. We have to make everyone aware that public safety is our #1 concern. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Robinson.
Well, any traffic accident is very unfortunate, and loss of life to the members of a family is very tragic. On the last city council meeting, one traffic commissioner came up and said that the city has not had city synchronization of the traffic lights in many, many, many years. And I was wondering why. I said, wow, well, what's going on? But also with traffic police, a motorcycle police person near those type of settings where you have a person conducting traffic across the street, periodically we should have a policeman there, because you would be surprised if there was a policeman and there was a traffic infraction, how a $300 or $400 ticket would impact personal income.
Thank you. Okay, let's turn to another subject. This came in through one of the questions from the audience and also from the Rotary question. 4 new hotels are planned in the city. And how do you believe that the city should spend the multi-million revenues from the bedroom tax? We'll start with Ms. Sebastian.
Yes, thank you. Actually, it is 5 hotels are contemplated for our city, and I have to make a statement about that because I think there are many people that are concerned about the impact that those 5 hotels will bring to our city. I think 1, 2, perhaps even 3 are good. When you have that many, especially in a very condensed area, it may pose an issue. But as far as spending the revenues, I have a laundry list. I think that the first thing would be, number 1, would be to take care of our city streets. I've had the opportunity to be walking through our city, and I can't help but look at how many of our city streets need to be attended to because they have pieces of the asphalt falling out. So I think that's one of our priorities, number 1. Number 2, I think, is economic development, to see how we can put a program together about bringing a lot of these retail shops that you shop at instead of having to go to other cities. Pasadena is one of them, and even Montebello or Alhambra, how to bring those shops here, perhaps get a little bit more education about what other cities are doing and bring those retail shops to Monterey Park. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Wong?
The city has recently approved 3 hotel projects. One is Marriott Konya Hotel, which is 288 rooms. And the DoubleTree Hotel is 180 rooms. And AG Hotel is 148 rooms. Altogether, there are about 600 rooms altogether. And there's a 4th one that is planning by a developer, which is on Corporate Center Drive. So the tax that we get from the room tax, which is 12% on each dollar that a visitor stay in a hotel room. For example, if he spend $100, he have to pay $12 to the City of Monterey Park. The reason why we need that is we have to take care of our streets and roads. And also that we need more firefighters and also police officers because of the realignment of state government and also Proposition 47 passed last November. So we got to have more, and also we must have more landscaping throughout the whole street, making sure that the people will live, as I said earlier, that peacefully and happily.
Thank you. Mr. Lam?
As a planning commissioner and business owner, I support quality economic development, including 3 or 4 hotels. We do need to move the city forward. We need more revenue, more jobs, more sales tax. The hotel offers 12% occupancy rate directly to the city. Sales percent, although it's only 1% to the city, we're pushing very hard. In fact, we also like car dealers, national anchor tenants. However, due to the limited land we have, it's very hard to put a car dealer here. That's on my wish list. Also, I want to see the hotels here because I don't want the traveler to live in San Gabriel and Alhambra and eat and spend their money in our neighboring city. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Ng?
There's actually 5 hotels being discussed. One on Hellman Atlantic, where the car wash is. One next to B of A, halfway down the street on Atlantic Boulevard. The other one is the Christmas tree lot on Garvey and Atlantic. The other one's on Corporate Center Drive, and the other one is where Bank of America on Garfield and Garvey is located on that corner. I'm against 5 hotels. I believe the city can take a look at maybe prioritizing one or possibly 2, but not 5. I was trying to make a left-hand turn onto northbound Atlantic from Garvey, and I was stuck in the middle of the intersection because even though I had the green light and the green arrow, there was bumper-to-bumper traffic now all the way to the freeway. And so if you can just imagine 3 hotels on Atlantic Boulevard, a block apart. I know that most of the money is going to go to the infrastructure of improving our streets and also to the public safety. But once again, I'm against 5 hotels in the city. I can understand 1 or possibly 2, but not 5. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Robinson?
Well, hotels in the city of Monterey Park, we've already approved them, and we've already have plans for them to come. So we're going to use these hotels as a cash cow for quality of life for the residents of Monterey Park. We do need a full city staff, and we don't need any more outsourcing. Our economy has improved. The money that we get from the hotels should facilitate a full city staff, improvements in technology, improvements in equipment. Also, same for police department and the fire department, technology, equipment, especially courtesy. Our police and fire department personnel have to be some of the most courteous people in the state. We already have a real fine 911 system. And then also education. We should pump more money into education, especially through our libraries.
Thank you. Okay, the next question that we have for everyone. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm getting ready to skip you at the top. Mr. Avila.
Okay. As for hotels, to make revenue on that, I mean, yeah, every room's got to be rented out for that day to make a decent amount of revenue. For those spots, I think we should make a business that the city runs, like a water plant, sell water. We got to end the supply of it. We put some businesses that sell water there, and the water takes off. That's some serious cash. And then we could hire some more police department employees, more fire department employees. That would bring in a lot of revenue to fix our streets. We just need to concentrate on our water. We got a lot of water issues here. We need to get that and work on that.
Accidentally turn it off. There we go. I'd like to talk about shopping centers and business development. There's been a question about how to have more shopping centers in Monterey Park, and in particular, big brand names like Target or Walmart. And I'd like each person to respond with one national brand that you would work personally to bring into Monterey Park. And we'll start with Mr. Wong.
I would like to see Target to come to Monterey Park. Another one will be Trader Joe. That's what we want. Right now we have a project development that we call Marketplace, 45 acres of land. The project is about 500, 600,000 square feet of retail area, which is north of Pomona Freeway. The Home Depot already signed the lease. In-N-Out Burger already signed the lease. So those are the ones that already signed lease, so we can disclose the names. So there are other national tenants that are negotiating on the lease. So definitely we are going to have a lot of national stores will be coming into Monterey Park so that we can shop our list here.
Okay. Mr. Lim.
As a businessman and planning commissioner, I always like to see the city grow and move forward. In this case, it's shopping center. I like to support Marketplace. I want to work hard if I got elected to take a lead to make sure that Marketplace is built. In terms of what kind of brand we like to bring in, I like to bring in Home Depots, Targets, In-N-Outs. I believe that we worked with the Trader Joe's before. I think they don't want to come, but I like to bring in Trader Joe's for sure. And bring in brand clothing or, bring in more women's clothing. I'm selling women's clothing on Garvey for 25 years.
Okay, Mr. Ring.
The marketplace that we're talking about is the 45 acres next to the 60 freeway. And there is a project that's being discussed that may be 600,000 square feet of retail space. Home Depot has signed, In-N-Out has signed. I know they're talking to a national sporting goods store. Obviously, residents in our community remember Santa Fe Market used to be Trader Joe's on Casuta Canyon and Garvey. People now go to Pasadena, sometimes go to Trader Joe's. I would be supportive of that. Places like Target obviously would do well in our community. Unfortunately, when we go to conventions and we talk to national retail representatives, they're always talking about the fact that our household income isn't as high as other surrounding cities. But I try to remind them that the largest bank branch of Bank of America in the entire nation is on Garfield and Garvey. And for them to realize that we do have purchasing power in the city, that we can't just look at household income, because there's a lot of retirees that have discretionary income, but those are the things that I would support.
Thank you. Mr. Robinson.
You know, I would be so glad when Home Depot comes to Monterey Park in the marketplace. Also, if not, or a Lowe's, because personally I do an awful lot of business with Home Depot, and I would like to see that Home Depot materialize. But before the Home Depot or any other business of a national caliber comes to Monterey Park, we have to stabilize our image. We've had quite a bit of destabilization. When that happens, national chains don't want to come to our city. We have to improve our image, do better with working together, and we'll be able to draw a national chain, and they'll be comfortable doing business here in Monterey Park.
Thank you. Now let's turn to Mr. Avila.
So I would love to see personally, I would love to see a Home Depot, In-N-Out Burgers pull in there, but it's not up to me. It's up to the people in Monterey Park. We should put a shout out there to all the people out there and hear them see what they want, because it's our city. It's not what we want. It's what the city needs and wants. We need to put a shot out there and hear the voices of the people and bring it all together and calculate it and bring it in. Thank you.
And Ms. Sebastian.
Yes, thank you for the question. And I too, of course, everyone would like a Target here, and I've been working really hard with the Home Depot and the In-N-Out. And I have some breaking news. There is one that I can talk about that will be coming to Monterey Park, and that's a Panda Express Modern Kitchen. And what's really exciting about it, it's their newer concept, which has a wider entree selection, and it has a really nice tea bar. And just so that you know, it is a second of its kind. The very first one that opened up was in Pasadena. The second one will be right here in Monterey Park. So this goes to show you, when I went to ICSC, the owner of Panda Express was there, and I explained to him about Monterey Park and told him that his business would be really well received here in Monterey Park. So little by little, we are starting to get some national retail stores here. We talk about the Home Depot, the In-N-Out, and now Panda Express Modern Kitchen is materializing. So it's just a matter of educating, and you keep telling us the businesses that you would like, and we will relay that to the developers and to the business owners. Thank you.
Thank you. And let's turn now to another subject. Would you support to continue the parcel tax for specific library projects when Measure C ends? Let's start with Mr. Lamb, right?
I support Measure C. I support the library opens 7 days. Our kids rather stay in library better than running around. I used a library when I first came to Monterey Park, when we have the old library. Now we have a very beautiful library. Thanks for the previous council member fight for this funds from state and local money. With the library, with this new library, not just the kids, a lot of time I saw adults, all Monterey Park residents, they enjoy their reading, listening to videos, all the equipments. We got to have a library like this. We got to have funds to support and continue this library. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Ng.
When I took my oldest child, my daughter, Chantel, to the library, I remember her borrowing the maximum amount of books, which was 10. And I've always said that the key to a child's imagination is a library card. And she would borrow books on animals and wildlife, and she became a docent at the LA Zoo for 4 years throughout high school. She started in 9th grade giving tours of the LA Zoo all the way to 12th grade. And she was a biology major at UCLA, graduated, and is now in pharmacy school in Virginia. But I can remember the key things were things that were offered in the library that was free. And yes, I would be in support of a continued measure so that we have ample funding for our library.
Mr. Robinson.
Of course, I would support the library extension of Measure C. Being a university graduate myself, understanding I have I have 2 children, one in college and one in high school. They're doing very well. The library has been a source of learning throughout the centuries and throughout millennium. And the present library we have, we do need computers, we need technology, anything that will advance the learning process and keep our children off the streets and keep them on a positive track. Thank you.
Okay, and Mr. Avila.
Yes, I supported Measure C. When I was growing up as a kid, I went to that library. I seen the changes through the years and how we're growing modern technology, and the library's been remodeled, and it's great. I use it still today. Library's great for the city and great for the people. Anything the library needs, I would be supportive of. Thank you.
Ms. Sebastian.
Yes, thank you. I wholeheartedly support Measure C, and you have to understand the library depends on Measure C. They need it to fund the library to continue to operate. And I'm very, very proud of our librarian and staff, because there was a time when they had to close one day due to funding shortfall, and now they're open all days of the week. And the library expands your curiosity, it expands your world. And I always tell people there's 2 things I always have in my wallet. One is my driver's license, and the other one is my library card, and I just pulled it out of my wallet. And the one thing that I realized about libraries is not only does it expand your curiosity, but encourages children and adults to read. And I learned that one common denominator among inmates on death row is that they do not know how to read. And that's a shame. So that is another reason that we must support our libraries. So the next time you're in there, in our Brueggemeyer library, please thank our librarian and our staff, because they're doing an amazing job. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Wong.
The Monterey Park Brueggemeyer Library is the state-of-art library in the whole California. And thanks to the former chair of the Friends of the Library, Mayor Pro Tempore Chen, former Mayor Mike Ng, the former chair of the Library Board of Trustees, Mr. Yukio Karavatani, and also David Lau, our former mayor, and former Mayor Francisco Alonso, work together to have Measure C so that we can expand the library. And for why the library is the knowledge bank for our young people. It's very important for our community, particularly when they grow up. We want to make sure that they are good citizens. They will be leaders, not only of our city, they will be leaders of the country. So that's why I support Measure C, and also that I'm working very closely with those honorable people that I just mentioned, the names, and I work very closely with them, making sure that we will have Measure C to be extended.
Thank you. Okay, now let's switch to a completely different topic. We have a question about, please tell me your action plan to reduce illegal boarding houses. And for this one, we're going to start with Mr. Ng.
I think some of the problems that we have in our community as residents and neighbors are telling us is that there's residential single-family homes that are used as boarding homes. And sometimes I hear reports that when the city goes and investigates, there's like 10 mattresses on the floor in the living room being supplied for migrant workers. Obviously, the city needs to continue to be vigilant in their inspections, and whenever there is calls made that residents are concerned that there is a lot of activity going on in those residential neighborhoods, I would say that the city needs to continue to be vigilant and to look into those matters once it's reported. I'm not sure how many calls we get, but I hear it from my friends, and when we're walking precincts now, I also hear it from residents that they are concerned about a house down the street that's having a lot of activity that should be investigated. Thanks.
Mr. Robinson.
Well, you know, our economy has improved, but these are still tough times for people. And just like Councilmember Mitchell-Ng was saying, unless they're reported and there's police and serious activity that needs to be addressed, you know, I wouldn't heavily scrutinize people that are trying to make it and make it day to day and doing it honestly. I wouldn't try to heavily scrutinize that.
Thank you. Mr. Avila.
Yes, we need to get communities together with neighborhood watch people to unite more citizens to get involved in their communities, in the neighborhoods. Maybe even have some cops walk the beat, walk the neighborhoods, let the police officers get to know the people they're protecting instead of just driving by. When you walk, you get to see more things. You see and hear more things. People, we need some more street cops just to be walking the beat around our city to get more involved with our community. They would get more involved when you see a cop walking down the street. You'll be more friendly. You know, you get to know them as a name-to-name basis, and that would help a whole lot. With also the community watch programs getting more involved, making them more stronger. Thank you.
Thanks. Ms. Sebastian?
Yes, one action that I took on the council to help reduce illegal boarding houses is I supported the Go MPK application, and that's an application which you can put on your mobile phone, or you can look it up on the website, and you can directly report an illegal boarding house. And a lot of it is educating. Many people don't know that it is illegal to conduct such a house or to even live in one, but it does pose a health and safety issue here for our residents and for the neighborhoods. So a lot of it is education, and we've done that through the newspapers. We've posted the newspapers in various languages so that people understand. But a lot of it also depends just on you residents, you know, notifying the code enforcement, notifying the police, or even notifying one of us that there may possibly be an illegal boarding house. And of course, our code enforcement and our police department will work together to go there to educate and take the necessary steps, because the last thing we want is to continue to pose a health and safety issue for the residents of Monterey Park. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Wong?
Mayor Pro Tem Chen and I work almost on a daily basis to figure out how to deal with these illegal residential hotel motels. And the state law limits the power of the city to permit how many people are allowed to live in a single in a residential home. The only way that we can get them out is in the event that they put more partitioning that without any permit. So if that's the case, we are reported by any person to the city, then we can send our code enforcement personnel out to make sure that they will demolish the partitioning and get the person out, the people that are living there. So however, so we have one example that when a street was, one house was using as a residential hotel, the residents and neighbors there report to the city. And we have the traffic commission to figure out a way that limits how many parkings are there per house, so that to avoid the use of that illegal residential motel.
Thank you. Mr. Lim?
I want to clean up the residential hotel. Zero tolerance. I want to make a Monterey Park sound and reputationable. As your planning commissioner and next council member, I'll probably write a guideline with our police department and all the departments working together to develop a plan to first educate the owners and second to encourage the homeowner to report the incidents. Third, we need to investigate. I will fund more money to those areas, making sure that Monterey Park is not a place for refugee shelters. Thank you.
Okay, we have a completely different line of questions now. And a resident has said that it's important to me to have a council that understands parents. And the question is, do you have children? And where did they go to school? Or if your children are older, where did they attend when they were young? And I'd like to make this a lightning round. Only 30 seconds per person. I think you can answer this question quite quickly. We're going to start with Mr. Robinson.
Well, I have two children, and one is 15 and the other one is 18. And they both run track, and they're both excellent students. And one goes to Shure High School, and they both went to Shure. And my son goes to Cerrito College. And I think I've been a good role model for them, and I know my wife has been a good role model for them, and they're just trying to be somewhat like their dad.
Nice. Okay, Mr. Avila?
Yes,
30 seconds.
I have one son, and he went to Hillcrest for a little while, and he went to Garvey, and he went to Keppel. Now he's living life out there, and he just recently bought his own home, and he's doing well.
Ms. Sebastian?
Oh, yes, thank you for the question. I do not have any kids, unless you want to count my pets, because they're like kids. I think my husband and I were each other's children at time, but I do support our school districts very much. And as a matter of fact, I'm a product of the school district. I went to Sacred Heart of Mary High School, which is, unfortunately, we don't have any high schools located here in our city. And I did attend East LA College. I then went to Cal Poly Pomona for my business and administration degree, and then to law school at Whittier Law School. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Wong.
I have a son and a daughter. My son graduated from Poly Tech, California, Pomona, and he does a very good job working with Mason Ridge. This is a public company that owns about 100 shopping centers around the nation. And my daughter got her doctorate degree from NYU, working with the Hospital for Special Surgery, which is supposed to be #1 hospital in surgery around the world, not only in the United States. I'm very proud of them, and I'm expecting to have a grandchild from my son very soon. Thank you.
Mr. Lamb.
Education is very important to all my kids and myself and my wife. I went to East Los Angeles College and Cal State LA. I went up to law school, which I learned the law for my business, for my relative, for my business. My kids, my daughter got accepted to UC Santa Cruz. My second daughter got accepted to Cornell University in New York. And my son's almost done with high school. Thank you.
And where does he go to high school?
My son, I do believe we should all attend public schools. Well, I encourage use public school. However, some of the people, residents, they want to send their kids to private school. I respect them. And also, if you work in Monterey Park, let me explain. If you work in Monterey Park, like postman, if you live in downtown, you can bring your son to Monterey Park, attend Monterey Park School.
Okay. Now, let's go to another issue.
I didn't answer the question.
Oh, I'm sorry. Excuse me.
Okay. I'm the only council member in Monterey Park that actually have children that attended our local elementary and high school. My daughter and son attended Monterey Highlands and graduated from Marquepo High School. As I mentioned, my daughter's in Virginia now in pharmacy school. She's also a graduate of UCLA, and my son right now is a sophomore at UC Irvine. But my wife also attended Monterey Highlands, and she's an attorney with Southern California Edison. Thanks.
Thank you. Okay, now we're going to turn to a very different kind of a question, and that is funds for development projects in the city. There are two related questions. Will you vote to sell city-owned property to developers? And would you vote to overpay for a property for our city's use? And we'll start with Mr. Avila. Would you like me to repeat that?
No, I got it.
Okay.
That all depends on the situation and the business entire, if it was going to be good for the city or not. Overpaying for a property for a business, you got to investigate why they're overpaying for it. What do they want it for? Is it going to be good for the city? So we would just need to investigate it all, just to make sure it's good.
Okay.
Thank you.
Ms. Sebastian.
Yes, thank you for the question. I am very reluctant to sell city properties. As a matter of fact, I voted against selling 25 low-income housing units for $2 million to an investor where the terms were the city carried the note for $2 million at 3% for a term of 55 years, and we got paid the $2 million at the end of the 55 years. I did not think that was prudent to be selling something for $1 and then getting back only 7 cents. And I also think it is not prudent for us to be overpaying for properties, especially when we have an appraisal. We had a property located on Isabella, which was a residential home, where the appraisal came in at $450,000, yet staff was proposing that we purchase it at $500,000, thereby overpaying $50,000, and I was completely against that, and will continue to do so. I don't think that, I definitely wouldn't do that for me personally, and as a fiduciary for you, I will not do that either. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Wong.
I'm in real estate business. I understand that the value of the property depends on how much you need it and for the purpose of the usage of the property. For example, across the street from the city hall, the city owns a piece of vacant land. Then why we are selling it to one charitable organization that providing low-income housing for the low-income people. Mayor Leung just came back from Washington, D.C., the conference for the mayors. The president said that why there are so many homeless there, particularly there are some veterans that are homeless because we don't provide enough low-income housing for those people. So the money from the Fed money, the home money, is for providing housing for the low-income people. We cannot make any profit. So the purpose is, if we sell the property, so get, say, $3 million, we can buy back only about 15 units. Now we have 31 units plus another 19 extra parking spaces, plus we have $540,000 to buy another piece of property to provide more parking for the people. So I agree to sell it so that we can provide a low-income housing for the needed people.
Thank you. Mr. Lim.
I support affordable housing. Therefore, if we as a city need to terminate some of the land or properties, then we got to do it. Then on the other hand, if we need properties to fit the affordable housing, then we got to buy some affordable housing. So it's all demand and supply. City is not excluded. Thank you.
Mr. Ng.
When the city decided that they no longer wanted to manage their low-income housing, I, along with Councilmember Teresa Real Sebastian, voted no in selling 25 units of low-income housing on Pomona to Link Housing, who purchased it for $2 million, which we would be paid in 55 years from now. As I had explained, I'd be 106 years old. My daughter would be 78 years old when we actually get paid. It was ridiculous that we entered into that. I, along with Councilwoman Teresa Real Sebastian, also disapproved of us overpaying a property that was appraised at $450,000, and the city decided to pay $50,000 more than the appraisal value. I guess it's easy when it's not your money, but because of our fiduciary role, we represent the residents of Monterey Park, and that's $50,000 equates to $5 million in sales tax generation from a business, because we get 1% of sales tax revenue from Sacramento to our general fund.
Thank you, Mr. Robinson.
Well, being a former small business owner, rental property, I agreed with the city council's decision to let Link manage that property. 55 years, in 55 years, we still will own the property. We've been here for 100 years, and we still own property after all this time. My main concern would be for the citizens of Monterey Park. I was against the fire department acquisition of 500 Isabella, and any type of acquisition that a major chain or a large company would want to purchase a business or any residence, if the resident wanted the money and they wanted to overpay the resident, I think that being overpaid is a good thing.
Okay. Now, here's another question dealing with traffic, but in a different vein. The city recently passed a bike plan. What, if anything, will you do to implement the plan and make Monterey Park a more sustainable city? We're going to start with Ms. Sebastian.
Thank you. Yes, when the bike plan came forward, I did agree with it. However, the bike plan had lanes throughout our city, and it had lanes in some of the areas that have very steep hills like Crest Vista, Ridgecrest, Keller, even Cadiz had one. So I suggested that it go back to the Traffic Commission for review, because I think in order for us to be sustainable, we also need to be safe. And there's a lot of education that goes into bike riding, as we all know. I have a bicycle at home. Unfortunately, right now it has dust on it. But I do believe in having a sustainable Monterey Park. But I think our topography, we're not flat. We have hills, and we have to be able to educate and manage those hills in order for people to even be encouraged to get on their bikes. So I think part of it is working together with our Traffic Commission to get feedback to find out a safe route, a manageable route, and to make sure that it'll encourage people to take their bikes out of the garage to ride them in the first place. Thank you.
Mr. Wong?
I'd like to see bike routes to be established as soon as possible. Not only that, it will be helpful to our environment, and it is a good exercise. When I was young, I used to ride bike to go to school, so I enjoy it. Now the bike ride, the route that presented to the city council, there are quite a number of residents that have different ideas and opinions. So I would like to see that this bike route will be very well designed, particularly for public safety, for the pedestrians and the riders. Make sure that there won't be any accidents, and also that one day, when I'm walking on a sidewalk and a bike rider bumped into me, and I said, "How come you keep going on? When you see me there?" He said, "Well, I tried to go another direction, and you were there, so I bumped into you." I said, "That don't make sense. You stop right there." So that's why I feel that we really have rules and regulations on riding bikes too, after we have the bike route established. So I support the bike route.
Mr. Lam?
As a planning commissioner, I supported and voted yes and support the bike routes going through all Monterey Park cities. However, we need to regulate it, make sure the biker and driver are safely using the road at the same time. Our city clerk, Vincent Chan, sitting here. He's the one taking the leads for our city. I support it. And I'm a go green person, so I believe that if we do bike more, it causes less pollution. Your when you bike, you always exercise. So both me and my son, we both love to bike. My son biked from here all the way to Seal Beach. Thank you.
Mr. Ring.
When we talk about sustainability, we also have to talk about safety. Because the topography of Monterey Park is hilly, we have to make sure that everyone of all age will be safe. And the reason why I talk about safety all the time is the last thing the city wants to do is incur liability and be sued. So sustainability is one thing, but we have to make sure all these paths that is chosen doesn't involve hills, but it's more on flat terrain. Thank you.
Mr. Robinson.
I would love to see more bike lanes within the city. Of course, the wave of the future is to do away with cars and especially petroleum-using cars. My main concern would be the safety of the bike rider. Of course, we have had accidents. I know we had most recently, about 6 in the last 5 months, a bicyclist was struck on Potrero Grande, and I know I couldn't get into my street because it was the police had the street cordoned off. So the safety of the bike rider would be my utmost concern. Thank you.
Okay. Now, Mr. Avila.
Yes. I've rode the bike lanes in Monterey Park way back when they were put out there. I love riding a bike. The only main concern was when I was riding the bike is the traffic. We get a lot of traffic in Monterey Park, so safety would be concerned. We want to choose those streets or the wider streets and less parked cars for the bicyclists to fly down and do their exercises or going to work. We would have to test them all and find good routes. And people love to ride their bikes. And if they have a bike lane to ride to and it feels safe on it, more people will use it, even rickshaws. So I support the bike lane. We just have to find the right streets to use it on.
Okay. All right. Now, here's another one for a lightning round. We'll ask our timer to time to 30 seconds. And it's a very direct question. Can parking of recreational vehicles in driveways be controlled? Starting with Mr. Wong.
We should have control over that.
Mr. Lam?
I agree with Councilmember Antony Wong.
Okay. Mr. Ng?
You know, that question I actually asked recently to our police chief. They told me as long as the RV is not blocking the sidewalk, as long as it's in your driveway, it's permissible. If the city has to look at that in terms of that ordinance, I'll be willing to take a look at it. But as of now, that's the way it reads.
And Mr. Robbins?
We should have control over RVs and large vehicles in driveways, especially if they're eyesores, and a lot of them are eyesores, and they belong in some kind of industrial area. In my opinion, when I think of a street, I think of green grass or drought-tolerant landscaping and a beautiful, continuous neighborhood without RVs.
Thank you. I can tell you that it is possible to control that. In my community in Altadena, no one is allowed to park RVs in driveways. Yes.
Oh, yeah. No, there's still two of us that haven't responded.
Mr. Avila.
As long as it's according to the law, you should be able to park an RV on your driveway or any other car on your driveway. It's your driveway.
Yes, thank you. As Councilmember Ng mentioned, as long as you have the space and you meet the regulations, you are permitted to park a recreational vehicle on your property. But I know that many don't do that just as a courtesy to their neighbors. And I know that there are 2 residents here in our audience who do have a big RV, and rather than parking it on their lot anywhere, because they do have a very long driveway, they do store it at a facility. And I can say that all of us residents, we really do appreciate it. So a lot of it, although it's permitted, sometimes it's just a courtesy to your neighbors. Thank you.
Good. Now, let's turn to business signs. This has been a controversial one in this city. Would you vote to add the Latin ABCs, or English terminology, to foreign language signs, amending the current law? And we'll start with, let's see, who are we starting with? Mr. Lamb.
The current ordinance of the City of Monterey Park working very well. I don't see there's any problem with our signs right now. I do support to have something that residents here in Monterey Park are readable. I do support the U.S. Constitution protects you to put any language on your sign. I do see the Monterey Park residents supports English and any additional language you want to put. For example, when you walk on Garvey Avenue, you do see a lot of Chinese sign, but you also see an English translation there. It's all got both languages there. So I don't see there's any problem. So the City of Monterey Park, we fine. We fine on signs. Thank you.
Serene?
This issue came up when our assistant city attorney decided to streamline our ordinance. And in doing so, he crossed out the verbiage that signs required English. And so when I saw that crossed out, I asked him, why did you remove that from the ordinance? Because we're not talking about English only. We're just talking about a secondary language, English. So you can have a Chinese sign, but it should require English alphabet so that the police and fire can go to the scene in case there's a fire. And the city attorney said that was unconstitutional to require the word English. So he came up with the word Latin alphabet. And then the community got confused and thought that was discriminatory against Chinese businesses. Well, I'm under the impression that public safety is a priority. We're not talking about eliminating foreign signs. We're saying whatever language you want to put it in, that's fine. But it should have the English alphabet so that residents, in case there's a crime, can report where they're at and not just look after the address of the property. Thank you.
Yeah, Mr. Robinson.
I would not vote to antagonize any segment of our population. This issue did come up. I was an advocate for people who wanted to make a living and had English as a second language. Of course, this community has a high population rate of people that just entered our country, and naturally their language is English is their second language. Also, it came out in the city council meeting that 95% of these businesses did have a complimentary Latin signage label on their business. So I wouldn't vote to antagonize any segment of our population.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Avila?
I think all signs should have English on it. If you're looking for a business and you can't read what it is, you're going to pass it up. They're losing business, and you don't know what the hell the business is. So I should think all businesses should have English on it, at least the translation of what it is. Thank you.
Okay. Ms. Sebastian?
Yes, thank you. This came up when I was on council, and the concern was I was not in support of English language because a lot of these words are not English words. If you think of Starbucks, Starbucks is not an English word. So I did support a modern Latin alphabet, which means, for example, the word wing hop fun. It doesn't really mean anything. I mean, wing means something, but together it's not a word, but yet it's identifiable. And we have a lot of businesses here that use other languages, but it's good to have something that everyone can relate to, not only for safety purposes, but if I want to tell my friends, let's meet at this restaurant or whatever the facility may be, I can identify it now and everyone can understand. But I have been told from staff that at this time, the residents are being, not the residents, the businesses are being educated and they are complying. So they are putting another word associated with it that does have modern Latin alphabet so that although we don't have an ordinance that requires it, businesses are complying with that. So as long as that is the case, I don't think there's a need to change it. Thank you.
Mr. Wong?
Well, freedom of speech is in the U.S. Constitution and also California Institution. And signage in what language has never been a problem or an issue in the city of Monterey Park. The reason why I said that is I can tell you that all the signs are in both English and Chinese. When not all, those have Chinese in the sign, there is English or Latin. Right? Those that with only English or Latin sign, many of them are without Chinese, right? So that has been an issue. At that time when we raised the issue, one council member raised the issue, I went to talk to one business owner. That is the only one that has only Chinese sign. So I asked him why you don't have it in other language, Latin or English. He said because he doesn't understand English or Latin. So, but he was preparing to get it also in other language, either Latino or English. That's why 100% all signs are in both. Where that those are in Chinese, there is English or Latin there.
Right, thank you. Folks, we've had many questions from the audience. We have a lot of questions stacked up here that we're not going to be able to get to, but I would like to get to one final question before you do your closing statements, and we might run over a few minutes. I don't think that's a problem. This is the city of Monterey Park being well managed, or how can it be improved? What success can it build on? And for this question, we're going to start with Mr. Ng.
A city will be as well managed as people are involved and it's transparent to the public. Whenever you're dealing with contracts, if the public isn't vigilant and isn't concerned, there's a lot of things that can happen. There's a lot of things that we decide upon that's in the millions of dollars of taxpayers' dollars. It's only as good as the public's involvement in our community. And that's why I encourage anybody who's interested in serving in commissions or serving as volunteers, be active, because this is your city. We are not the best members on the city council compared to the rest of the residents with their work experience and with their own experience. I've always said there's a lot more qualified people out there, but unfortunately they don't have the time, their family involvement, or they just don't want to be up here as a politician and in public light. But that's my comments. Thanks.
Okay, Mr. Robinson.
Well, the inner workings of the city, I think, sometimes can be complicated. But on the outside, anything can be improved. And I think the city of Monterey Park deserves the best type of management. And the manager that we do have, he's doing a good job. We extended him a better contract, but I think that there's a better job to be done.
You, Mr. Avila.
We need to get the people more involved in their communities, either like online computer schooling, like something the city could put together and people could get involved that way because their time is precious, or just involve the people, find ways to get the people involved, to find out ways to hear the people's voice and their suggestions on how to manage our city. There's a lot of people out there that just don't have the time to come down to City Hall or talk to people. We need to reach them and find out ways, what they think. So we need to find ways to get the community more involved, either putting people on the streets and going door to door, or TV, newspapers. We just need to get the people more involved in our city and find out what they want.
Thank you. Ms. Sebastian?
Yes, thank you. I think our city is doing well, and a city is reflective of the community. But in order for a city to do well, you need the input of your staff. You need the input of your elected officials, not only your city council, but also your treasurer and your city clerk, and also the volunteers and many people who volunteer on our commissions and at our events, and also the community. And many of you, I have to say, although we don't have people physically here at our council meetings, many of you do send us your emails, your concerns. You know, when there's an issue related to a certain part of the city, you notify the council. So I really thank you for doing that. And those of you that haven't reached out, just know that we welcome those responses, because we can't be everywhere at the same time, trying to figure out what are the various issues with our city. So a lot of times we rely on you to bring those to us, and we will take a look and look into them and try to figure out with staff which is the best way to manage them and address them. Thank you.
Mr. Wong.
City can be better managed when you have a good team to work together. Ever since 2013 March, after the election, Mayor Leung and also Mayor Pro Tem Chen got elected, we have a very good team. We fill up all the positions, from the city manager down to police chief, fire chief, public works department, human resources, etc. So we stabilize our city government now. So everybody enjoying the business, enjoying the work, and they are happy. They don't have to worry about tomorrow. No more bickering, no more. We are all working together, respecting each other. We love each other. We are kind to each other, so that everybody can do the best. So we are doing everything making possible that everything is transparent. That's why we have a big screen out there displaying all the city business, including the budget. So everybody can scrutinize what it's doing in the city of Monterey Park. So we have everything transparent.
Thank you. Mr. Lim.
Thank you. City of Monterey Park, it's a medium size of the city in America. It does take some efforts to manage and do the things right. And I believe the majority of the council is doing their job, are doing their jobs. And I see the city is moving forward. However, it can be better. If I got elected, I'll make sure that Monterey Park is the safest city in America. I will make sure that Monterey Park is the cleanest city in America. By doing that, I need to develop projects to bring in revenues, to fund our city police and fire, to expand their services, so that residents here will enjoy the benefit of I just mentioned above. Thank you.
Okay, now let's see. I think we have ready to go for closing statements now. And as you recall, we're going to start with the person who ended with the opening statement. So, Mr. Robinson, your closing statement.
Okay. Well, I'm looking to win a seat here on the city council. And we've been in a lot of forums. We're all registered to be on the ballot. And I tried to make it clear that the image that I was going to bring to the city of Monterey Park was going to be a better image that we've had in the past. And as a commissioner on the Community Participation Commission, I watched our chair and two of our members resign because of maltreatment. I've seen the walkouts. I've seen the division. we need a better image. And I want to help provide that better image by working together with the existing city council members that are elected. I think that they're a fine group of people. I know them well. I know most of the panel here well. I think I would be a great addition to the city council, adding to the diversity and the all-around intelligence to make the city of Monterey Park the best city that it can possibly be. Vote for me.
Mr. Ng.
I have lived in Monterey Park for the past 32 years, and my wife, Gloria, a senior attorney with Southern California Edison, who grew up here, we've been married for 25 years. It's almost like empty nesters now that our kids are out of the house, and so we have even more time to devote to volunteerism. I started and will continue to organize our annual Veterans Concert in its 5th year. I will continue to organize the annual Barnes Park Amphitheater Concert in its 10th year. I was also organized for law enforcement training, which involves 7 cities, a free seminar for the police officers with Hoist Gracie of UFC, and this is the 3rd year. For the past 5 years, I have brought the entertainment to the high school graduating grad night events, including MTV's American Best Dance Crew, at no cost to the students. I also help organize the Dream Chasers Concert Benefit for the Arts, in which we brought artists from American Idol like Andrew Garcia, a violinist like Jason Yang, who toured with Madonna, Joseph Vincent, who appeared on Ellen, Jay Rise from Canada, Just Kidding Films, and the Fong Brothers, and we raised money for the arts. I will continue to help and organize events when people ask me. We did a dance competition and raised awareness for a UCLA alumni who was battling with leukemia, and we did a bone marrow drive at Barnes Park with the help of the hospital. Unfortunately, Janet Liang died of leukemia, but we did that for her benefit. I will continue to help and organize YouTube artists like the Wong Fu Productions and Kev Jumba, who come frequently to our city and are in need of production help. I do this not because of myself, but I know what the youth of our community enjoys, and I will continue to do that as a council member. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Mr. Lam.
Thank you for inviting me to this wonderful event. I love Monterey Park, and that is why I'm running for City Council. I have deep roots in Monterey Park. I came to Monterey Park 30 years ago to live with my grandmother and went to East Los Angeles College to get my business degree. I have my business here for 25 years, own my own home, and all my 3 kids were born at Garfield Hospital. I'm a neighborhood watch captain. Therefore, I work very closely with our police and fire department. That is why I'm proud to say I am endorsed by both the Police and Firefighters Association. I work very closely with our elected official for the past 20 years. I'm proud to receive the endorsement of Congresswoman Judy Chu, State Treasurer John Chang, State Senator Ed Hernandez, and State Assembly Member Ed Chow, and former Assembly Member Mike Ging. By working with them closely, I can make sure that Monterey Park will be a better community. I will be very proud to serve you as your next council member. Please remember to vote Tuesday, March 3rd, 2015. I ask for your support and thank you for your time.
Thank you. Mr. Wong.
I highly believe that a council member should be a person that is kind to people, love people. Not only that you are kind to people, love people. The people will kind to you and love you because it's teamwork. A city is an economic body. It's very important that we will have affluent revenue to do the service that the people of Monterey Park deserve. That's why our city government is stabilized. As I said, that the city manager down to all the administrators, directors, staff, all of them are enjoying the business now. And they are doing the best. That way they can do the best, focus on how to improve the city service. That's what we are doing. That's why I am endorsed by almost everybody, all the elected officials. They're all my friends. All the organizations, including the Firefighters Association, Police Officers Association, general employees, they all are supporting me. I can say everybody. So I want you to be sure that vote for the people that the candidate that will work for you and will be kind to you, teamwork, respect each other, treat each other as brothers and sisters so that we can do our best job for the people that they deserve. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Sebastian.
Yes, thank you. I am from the community, for the community. My heart and soul are here in Monterey Park. I have not and will not give you empty promises. You know that I roll up my sleeves and I get to work. And here's a partial list. I had 5 walk with the mayors. I created the Beautify MPK cleanup, and every time there's 100+ community members. I created the City to Business Forum. I created the city's veteran internship student program, the Geranium Festival, the Holiday Snow Village. I started the renewal of the South Garfield Business Corridor. I brought artwork to our city. I stopped the removal of 112 trees from Edison Trails Park. I opposed the conversion of a 9-acre prime commercial property to residential. I approved new CNG City Spirit buses. I spearheaded setting aside $1.8 million for economic development, approved $3.8 million for park improvements, and since fiscal year 2011-2012, when I started City Council, our city budget has balanced every single time. I started discussion regarding city term limits, which you, the voters, approved, held a City Council meeting at East LA College, approved the purchase of the city's very own pothole repair truck, which you will see soon, led the City Council to adopt a resolution urging our U.S. Congress to issue an apology for the Chinese Exclusion Act. I serve on regional boards. I am the designated representative for the Complete 710 Coalition. I brought the HERO program, which allows residents, you, to finance improvements on your home. I eliminated the property inspection report, which was required prior to you selling your home. I brought a new film permit process here to Monterey Park to encourage filming in Monterey Park, which thereby feeds the city. And I introduced a resolution to support Movember, to raise awareness for men's health issues, and to support Denim Day, which raises awareness of sexual violence against women. And that is a partial list. And I ask for you to please join me and vote for me on March 3rd. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Avila.
Hello, my name is Joy Avila. People who run for the city council position do for many different reasons. I'm not an overcomplicated person. I want things that most people desire. Those things that everyday folks desire, things that such as a place as good schools, good growth in our business community, programs to help out our aging loved ones, and can't forget the young ones with after-school sports and arts and to guide them, those in need. Growth in our community business as well, and a top police and fire rescue when called upon, knowing that they're the best, and they are. While some changes are positive and have resulted in negative consequences, there are times in change that there will be a period of adjustment that is necessary. I feel during these times, I feel that we need a down-to-earth person representing our common dreams in various elected positions. I feel that I can relate to the public because I am Joe Public. Like all people, I had good times and bad times. And for example, I lost my father at an extremely young age, when a boy needs the guidance of his father. At the same time, I have been blessed with a caring family, group of friends who are family to me. I've been blessed having, excuse me, I'm sorry about that. Having brothers and sisters growing up in this with me, I love the city. I want to do the best I can for it. There's a lot of things in the city that are great, and I want to preserve. Monterey Park was voted to raise the best place to raise a family in not too long ago. I like to preserve that. We're doing something right to earn that position and that right to stand tall and I'm a man of action. I'm not great with too many words, but I know what's right and wrong and what needs to get done. I'm not afraid to stand against somebody that's doing somebody wrong. I know we have a lot of problems in our city, and we need to unite a lot of different nationalities and get the people together and to make things right in the city, to move it along. I will find the answers out there. I'm not alone. I'm not me. I'm not doing this by myself. It's the people out there, the people of you that I go and listen to and support and make things happen. It's not me.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Avila. Well, we've come to the end of our forum, and I'd like to thank you, candidates, for making yourselves available to answer the voters' questions. And I'd like to thank you, audience members, for being here as an active community to listen. And there's somebody else I'd like to recognize, and that's the students who have helped us out tonight by we hope that you will be in the audience in the future as the people who are concerned about the community following up. Now, as stated in the beginning, the League of Women Voters service goal is to promote an informed and involved electorate. And we hope we've succeeded in this evening in helping you to be better informed about the issues in this election. And now we turn things over to you for the involved part. We strongly urge you to go out and participate in our democracy by casting your vote, and please urge your family and friends to do the same. Thank you and good night.
Thank you, Marge, and thank you to all the League of Women Voters that helped us, and also, as she mentioned, thank you very much to the Interact students. They are high school students from Mark Keppel. Thank you for the candidates that came tonight and enlightened us with their positions, and thank you very much to the audience, and remember to vote on March 3rd. Registered to vote, there is a voter registration booth in the back.